Let's talk about the pros and cons of living in Nashville. What's up, everybody? If this is your first time visiting, my name is Andy Elliott, and my channel is all about Tennessee living and real estate. This video is designed to answer a lot of your questions about Middle Tennessee life. Pro number one, jobs. The Wall Street Journal ranked Nashville number 2 in the hottest job markets in the U.S. We added 33,000 jobs in 2019, 24,000 jobs in 2020, despite the pandemic. So who's doing the hiring? Leading industries are music and entertainment, tourism and hospitality, not a great shock as this is Music City, USA, but the big bucks are in healthcare, manufacturing, and technology. The top private companies and recently relocated here are Amazon, Dell Computer, LG Electronics, Nissan, Mitsubishi, HCA Healthcare, and that's literally just a few of the companies. If you're looking for work, Nashville's got opportunity. Pro number 2, Nashville is a startup haven. I bet you didn't know this, but if you'd rather start and run your own business rather than work for one of the other guys, Nashville is a startup haven. Check this out. Nashville is one of 7 Google for Startup tech hubs in the U.S. The Nashville Entrepreneur Center provides guidance for startups in every phase of development. They help people navigate the process of finding the best resource to help you start and grow your business. If you have an entrepreneurial spirit, Nashville might be a good place to start up. See what I did there? Pro number 3, no state income tax. Tennessee is one of 9 states that doesn't have a state income tax, and in 21, it's not going to tax 401s and mutual funds either. I remember the first year I was able to skip by my state income tax on my return, and it was epic. I simply loved it. But there's no free lunch, so where does Tennessee make that up? Sales tax. We happen to be right at the top of the list when it comes to state sales tax rates. This could be a con, but for me, I'd rather pay as I go based on purchases than a big chunk in April. Now, I'm sure there's an accountant out there saying, no, there's a better way. But for me, this pro makes me happy. Pro number 4, the low cost of living. The cost of living in Tennessee is comparatively low. It's about 10% less than the national average. And they got that number by comparing groceries, utilities, transportation, housing, and insurance across the country. It's just cheaper to live here, that's all. The people that notice it the most, though, are usually from the Northeast and California. You're welcome. Pro number 5, Southern hospitality. Southern hospitality is a thing, it's a real thing. If you've never been here before, get ready. If somebody asks you how you're doing, they actually want to know. It's kind of neat. If you're in traffic wanting to turn into traffic, watch the other driver because chances are good they're going to wave you through. It's an amazing thing. The pace of life is just slower here. It just is. You can see a New York transplant from 100 yards away because they're just rushing from place to place, and that's not a shot. It just takes them a few months to figure out, hey, nobody else is racing around, and then they slow down too. Southern hospitality, it's a really good way to live. Pro number 6 is diversity. Now, I want to mention diversity because this is important. Nashville works really hard to be inclusive. And there's a ton of programs out there, but I don't know what they all are. Make sure that you grab the relocation guide in the description box because they've got pages and pages on that. If that's a topic that interests you, get that guide so you'll be fully informed what Nashville is doing with diversity. Pro number 7, music and entertainment. If music is your thing, Nashville is your place. As a musician, I'm telling you, the music is simply awe-inspiring. Downtown is fun and it's loud and it's soaked in unbelievable talent. Stars own bars like Jason Aldean, and they often play to the crowds, and it's not all country down there, not by a long shot. But the crown jewel, as far as I'm concerned, is the songwriters. They play almost every night in different venues across the city. Don't be surprised when you go see one of these people that you're going to be singing a song that you've been singing to the radio for years performed by the guy or the girl that wrote the thing. It's just awesome. It's really awesome. If symphony is more your style, the Schermerhorn Symphony Center is a big, beautiful building downtown, and they normally have several concerts a year. So here's the pros and cons on housing in our area, and I'm not going to pick a side. The situation we're in here is pretty much the same as it is across the country. Seems like low inventory, a ton of buyers. It seems like there's a multiple offer on every single home that goes for sale. It might be an exaggeration, but not much. So be ready for that. The median home price in Nashville, January 21, is $369. Last year it was $319. In Williamson County, down here where I live, it's $580. Trust me, you can get a house. You just have to be 100% ready. Again, I'm not picking a side, no pros and cons. It's just the way it is. So let's talk about a few of the cons. Con number one is the traffic. There's a lot of talk about traffic. The locals complain that it's getting worse. And to be fair, I think it is compared to the way it used to be. But this is a relative thing. I mean, talk to somebody from Atlanta, Chicago, LA, or New York, and I've heard from all of them, and what they'll say is, traffic? What traffic? So traffic in Nashville could be a pro or a con. It just really depends on your point of view. Con number two, weather. And I'm having trouble making this actual con, but when it comes to weather in Nashville, the number one question is, are there a lot of tornadoes? Well, here's the truth, straight up. There were 6 tornadoes in the last 20 years. 2 of those hit Nashville, and they were bad. The others were regional tornadoes. So when it comes to Nashville, there's 2. As for the weather in general, the summers are hot. The rest of the year, moderate. Spring and fall, moderate. Winters, sometimes we'll get snow and ice. It's rare, but when that happens, it really does shut the city down. Con number 3, public transportation. If you're used to a robust public transportation system, you're going to find probably Nashville lacking. For most of us, Nashville life includes owning a car. And full disclosure, I'm not a bus rider, but public transportation is on our news channels every week, several times a week, it seems like. So I'm aware that that's an issue. If public transportation is important to you, be sure to kind of dig in and do your research on that. Cons 4 and 5, allergies and bugs. Well, here's my take. I don't have allergies, so of my friends that I talk to that do, they tell me that it's a bitch. So if allergies is an issue for you, make sure you do your research. They tell me Nashville's in a bowl, and so pollen doesn't get blown out easily. Allergies. And then bugs. I see these other videos where they're making a big issue about bugs in the South. Well, I've been here 15 years, and there hasn't been enough issues for me with bugs that it's even worth mentioning until I see these other videos talking about bugs. So I wanted to end this video on hard-hitting news like bugs. Be sure to watch my video on wonderful Williamson County. Grab your relocation guide. It's awesome. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell so you don't miss anything. Talk to you soon.